What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Mile High Misfits. So I bought the C5 Corvette because this car is a great bang for the buck. I mean, we're talking 350 horsepower, V8, rear-wheel drive, and a 6-speed manual straight from GM. I mean, they really did this car right the first time. But I will say, as an engineer and a car enthusiast, I know that all cars can be improved on. So in this video, I wanted to go over exactly what I plan to do as far as modifications to make this car a little bit faster and maybe a little bit more reliable. But before we get into the video, guys, I wanted to let you guys know that we do have some merch here at Mile High Misfits now. So you can get the Boosting My Ego 1 PSI at a Time Mustang shirt or the Millennial Paycheck Boomer Taste Corvette shirt, all on our Instagram page for $25. So shoot us a message and we'll get one out to you. So first things first, let's go over what modifications this car had when I bought it. So it already had the VR intake. It also already had the Gumby wheels installed. And it also had the Next Step axle back exhaust. Besides that, it was pretty much bone stock. I mean, this car even has the 1-to-4 shift on it. Hasn't even been deleted. So that'll tell you guys this car has been pretty taken care of most of its life. And that's exactly what I was looking for. I didn't really want a car that had been abused or drifted or anything like that. I wanted something mostly stock. Because really, to me, I wanted something that I could modify tastefully to my own specifications. And since I bought the car, I really haven't done anything too crazy. I've done the headers, I've done the high flow cats, the X-pipe, and that all mates up to the axle back exhaust that was already on there. I really only did this to unlock a little bit of horsepower with the long tube headers, and it also gives it a more aggressive sound. The only thing that I've done besides that is I tuned the fans to come on a little bit sooner, just that way I don't have any heat soaking issues when I'm either at the track or out in traffic. And as you guys can see, this car is in pretty good shape, and I'd like to keep it that way. So one of the modifications that I'm planning on doing is I'm going to be servicing the transmission soon, because one issue that it's had since I bought the car is that in reverse, it pops out of gear every time that I put it in there, unless I hold the shifter in reverse. So I think the culprit for this is the pads on the shift fork are worn down. So during this time that I service the transmission, basically I'm going to replace the reverse gear. I'm also going to flip the synchro, so that way we have kind of some new teeth on there. I'm also going to replace the shift fork, and I'm going to replace the pads on the shift fork with some brass pads. These ones are going to last a lot longer than the OEM plastic ones. So that's one of the main mods that I'm doing for reliability with this car, because really these brass pads should last for the life of the car at this point, and I shouldn't have any more issues with my reverse gear popping out. And at the same time, when I have the rear end out already, I might also replace the diff mount with an HPI diff mount. I've heard that with this stiffer mount, this can reduce a lot of that drivetrain vibration that you feel when doing burnouts and launches and that kind of stuff. So I might try that as well. Now, moving on to the meat and potatoes of this video, I'm also going to be installing a performance camshaft as well, and that's going to give me quite a bit more horsepower over the stock 350 that this car puts out from the factory. And I already have all of the components that I need for this swap, so I've got the camshaft right here. I'm going to go over all these specifications and brands that I'm using in the install video, so stay tuned for that. I also have the dual valve springs right here, and I also have the rocker arms with the trunnion upgrades. So the needle bearing issue that the LS1 engines have, this solves that issue. So this is more of a reliability mod than anything. I also have the high pressure oil pump that I'm using from Melling. I've heard that these LS1s have oil cavitation issues above 6,200 RPMs. So obviously you don't want that, and this will solve that issue. So I also have the push rods here, various gaskets, that kind of stuff. And I also have an LS2 timing chain. So that's a little bit beefier than the LS1. And I've also got some new hardware and that kind of stuff. So there might be a couple other things I need. I'm also going to get a timing chain damper, the valve spring install tool and that kind of stuff. But besides that, I've got pretty much most of the expensive stuff. So I'm super excited to get this build started. But of course, before I install any of these new mods, I want to make sure that this car is running and driving flawlessly. I don't want misfires or anything like that. So I'm also going to be replacing spark plugs and wires and that kind of stuff. Just that way this car is in absolute tip-top shape when it hits the dyno. And because this is a pretty major modification, I'm going to have to get it tuned. So I'm going to bring this car to one of our local tuners here in Colorado and get it dyno tuned. So I'm hoping that after all the upgrades, I'm hoping to put down 400 horsepower to the wheels which is a pretty respectable number for how lightweight this car is. Especially here in Colorado, because we're not at sea level, we make quite a bit less power here just because of the altitude. So I think that 400 horsepower will be plenty with this car, and it will pretty much be able to match anything else on the road. And I've also heard mixed things about the fuel injectors, especially on the earlier model LS1s. Some people are saying that my fuel injectors will be completely fine with the camshaft install, and others are saying that I might need bigger injectors. So I'm planning on crossing that bridge when I get there. If they just don't cut it, then I'll probably have to upgrade the injectors as well. But besides that, for now, I think I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit and just hope they ride. If they just really can't flow enough, then of course I'll just bite the bullet and get the injectors if I need them. But for now, we'll see how she does. But besides that, I think that the only modifications that I might do to this car in the future is maybe some nicer wheels and possibly a coilover setup, just to get that nice flush look on the car. I think that looks really nice. But I know that a lot of you guys are not super happy about people modifying these cars. I know there's a lot of purists out there that are like, no, you can't modify these cars, they're perfect from the factory, and they're gonna attack me for it in the comments. But I think that as long as you modify these cars tastefully and you do it right the first time and you actually spend the money and you're not buying parts on like Temu and Wish.com and that kind of stuff, you know, I think it's fine. I think that these cars can be, you know, a little bit more reliable, obviously, and, you know, I'm one of those people that likes to chase horsepower, so if you have a problem with that, then, you know, whatever, come at me in the comments and I'll argue with you. It's okay. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to get this car really unlocked when it comes to horsepower. I think that it's going to just tear it up. So I'm super excited about it. And I think that the cam is just going to be a badass upgrade. But besides that, guys, that's all I've got as far as future plans for modifications. But I would love to hear from you guys what modifications you've done to your car or plan to do to your car. So let me know in the comments below exactly what you're planning to do to modify your C5 Corvette, because I'd love to hear about it. But if you guys enjoyed the content for today, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for future content. I'll catch you guys next week. Later.